after they've been named in a letter from the Biden FTC.
Is this your question time now?
No, I'm responding to your ridiculous statements you made in your opening statement.
Okay, well, let's get on with it.
Oh, now we want to get on with it. So you can say all the things you want, and I point out the
I did in my
facts.
opening statement, as well as you had an opening statement. You said what you needed to say in your opening statement, and I, as the ranking member, have used my time.
Without objection, all other opening statements will be included in the record. We will introduce today's witness, Matt Taibbi.
Storm clouds gather fast when truth meets power, and as the old political proverb says, when the lion roars, the jungle trembles. Today, Matt Taibbi and Michael Shellenberger step into the arena, two journalists the Biden FTC tried to corner, while members of Congress explode in chaos, hurling accusations about threats, censorship, and January 6 cover-ups. Taibbi and Shellenberger didn't come to bow. They came to expose.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not exaggerating when I say that you have called before you two witnesses who pose a direct threat to people who oppose them. It's funny when people have to go through that. Exactly. This is unacceptable. I'm ready for it. I don't know if a lot of other people are. But just as it was unacceptable for Kevin McCarthy to provide 41,000 hours of sensitive security footage to a biased talking head in an effort to rewrite what happened on January 6th. This is a new Republican playbook, apparently. Risk American safety and security to score political points.
The gentlelady's words should be struck. We do not accuse witnesses of threatening others. That is out of line and outside the rules of this committee.
That, and I can have an opinion.
You don't get to determine what's struck down.
Well, you do get an opening statement, and it's about
so let me finish.
over.
The committee will suspend.
We know this is because at the first hearing, the chairman claimed that big government and big tech colluded to shape and mold the narrative and suppress information and censor Americans. This is a false narrative. We're engaging in false narratives here, and we are going to tell the truth. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. I would just point out the consent decree was in our report. We offered your staff also the opportunity to review the FTC letters. You have not come over to review those letters. Third, the idea that I believe both of these individuals who are getting ready to testify, I believe they're both Democrats. The idea that two journalists who happen to be Democrats—
Did you not give that offer at 8 o'clock last night?
I'm talking now. Your time was ended a few seconds ago.
Neither of us are in time.
I don't think they're here to help us politically. I think they're here to tell us the truth. And oh, by the way, the first FTC letter to Twitter after the first set of Twitter files, the very first question was, who are the journalists you're talking to? And you guys don't care. You don't care.
You don't want the 2011
people to see.
consent decree?
You don't want the American people to see what happened, the full video, transparency. You don't want that, and you don't want two journalists who have been named personally by the Biden administration, FTC, in a letter.
The Biden administration.
And you're saying they're here to help us? They're here to tell their story. And frankly, I think they're brave individuals for being willing to come after they've been named in a letter from the Biden FTC.
Is this your question time now?
No, I'm responding to your ridiculous statements you made in your opening statement.
Okay, well, let's get on with it.
Oh, now we want to get on with it. So you can say all the things you want, and I point out the facts.
I did in my opening statement, as well as you had an opening statement. You said what you needed to say in your opening statement, and I, as the ranking member, have used my time.
Without objection, all other opening statements will be included in the record. We will introduce today's witness, Matt Taibbi. He's a journalist and author. He's one of the authors of the Twitter files, previously worked for Rolling Stone, that right-wing publication, Rolling Stone, where so many Republicans work at. He's also written several books about American politics and culture. And of course, as I pointed out, as the Wall Street Journal pointed out yesterday on the front page, was named by the FTC. Michael Shellenberger is also a journalist, author, and one of the authors of the Twitter files. He's also co-founded several nonprofits, including Breakthrough Institute, Environmental Progress, and the California—
Aggressive tone includes characters' names. Stepping into that hearing room felt like walking into a storm chamber. Matt Taibbi and Michael Shellenberger sat right in front of us, and from the moment the gavel slammed, the political temperature shot through the roof. A political proverb flashed in my mind: when power is scared, it screams. And that's exactly what happened. Right out of the gate, a Democrat member launched into a furious rant, claiming that Taibbi and Shellenberger were a direct threat to people who oppose them. Hearing that, I felt the whole room freeze. Matt Taibbi raised his eyebrows. Michael Schellenberger leaned back, and it became clear this wasn't a hearing. It was an attempted takedown. Another proverb came to mind. When the guilty fear exposure, they attacked the messenger. Then came the comparison to Kevin McCarthy releasing 41,000 hours of January 6 footage. The Democrat member started screaming about rewriting history and American safety under threat, trying desperately to spin the narrative before the witnesses even opened their mouths. The whole thing felt like a political circus where the ringmaster had lost control. But then the Republicans fired back. One of them cut in and said the accusations violated House rules, that you can't just accuse witnesses of threatening people because you're losing the argument. Things got heated fast. The Democrat tried to regain the mic, but the chairman wasn't having it. The chairman laid out clearly. The consent decree was in the official report. The FTC letters were available for review. The Democrats simply refused to read them. Then he pointed out what they hated hearing. Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberger are both Democrats, not Republican operatives, not right-wing influencers, not political weapons, just investigative journalists exposing truth. There's an old proverb for that, too. Truth doesn't pick sides, only enemies. He reminded the room that after the first batch of Twitter files came out, the Biden FTC sent a letter demanding to know one thing. Who are the journalists you're talking to? That is not oversight. That is intimidation. And when the chairman said Taibbi and Schellenberger were brave for showing up after being personally targeted in a federal letter, the Democrats erupted again. The ranking member tried hijacking the hearing by turning his own opening statement into a second speech, attacking the witnesses, attacking transparency, and calling the Twitter files a false narrative. I could practically feel the political desperation dripping off every word. A proverb played in my head. When the truth threatens a throne, the court becomes hysterical. Finally, the chairman shoved the hearing back on track and formally introduced Matt Taibbi, Rolling Stone veteran, investigative writer, and one of the lead authors of the Twitter files. Then Michael Schellenberger, journalist, author, nonprofit founder, and another central figure in exposing the social media government coordination. At that moment, the truth stood at the witness table, and the panic sat on the other side of the aisle. Political chaos filled the room, and one thing became crystal clear. When the powerful feel cornered, they don't debate, they detonate. And as another old political proverb goes, in the marketplace of ideas, only the silence fear competition. Today, the silence broke.